This CELPIP candidate used my 15-hour course and scored a 10 in every single module. You can see his complete message here, and I want you to send me the same message once you make it in your exam. The course is something you can use as well. It is in the description. 100,000 people have used this course up to this point to their benefit. You can be the next one to use the most viral CELPIP course online by HZad Education, made by yours truly, Teacher Sean. Now, Teacher Sean today is going to explain CELPIP writing task 2, and I'm going to show you the best answer, 12 out of 12 for this answer, and I'm going to break it down step by step for you so you don't just see a sample answer, but you actually learn how to write like this answer. Before that, let's look at the question. Your city is planning to improve public transportation. The city is considering two things basically. Option A, reduce public transit fares for all residents. Option B, use the money to increase the number of buses and trains. So we're not reducing money in option B, we're just using the same money to increase buses and trains. So the first thing you do is start with a general sentence, but it's not just any general sentence like, oh, this and this, these options are interesting, or they have been a topic of hot debate. No, you want to start right away with the fanciest word ever, surely. So it's not that fancy, but it's fancy enough to sound unique at the start. It is an adverb because it has a li, which makes it unique, gives you more range, and it is something that not many people do. So start with a unique advanced adverb, surely, and then you simply comment on the question or rephrase the question. In this case, I'm commenting on the question. The city's efforts in ameliorating the current system are commendable. Commendable means very appreciable. Ameliorating is improving. Every time I think about the word improve, I think of ameliorate or enhance. Better substitutes for something basic. And I have that for every word that is common. So for a good, I would think terrific, magnificent. For and, I would think furthermore, moreover. For bad, I would think harmful or horrific or detrimental, depending on the context, right? So you always want to have this practice at home where you have these words that are common, and how would you replace them with some things that are advanced? Something like will result in, I always instead say consequently, will lead to, will culminate in. Instead of however, I say nonetheless, nevertheless. So these replacements should always be in your head, ready to go. The next sentence is where you give your opinion. In my view, and here you have to pick one side. So we're never going to say I agree with both. You're going to pick one side and explain that. In my view, and it's something different than saying I think or I believe. In my view, the city's proposal to increase transport methods. So what does that mean, increase transport method? Let me show you something. Option B was very lengthy. It said use the money to increase the number of buses and trains. I was thinking to write this, but it's too long. Now, if I instead just say, in my view, option B is better, that's a very basic approach. If you're one of those people who does that, option A and B, don't do it. The examiner expects you to rephrase the question. So I don't want to use that too. So what is something that would not cost me a lot of words and would say number of buses and trains? Well, transport methods. Increase those. That is what I would use to summarize and find a good balance. And yes, I'm thinking about word limit right there. From the intro, I'm trying to keep in control of my words. Now this thing will be more practical and will bring forth more convenience for the locals. Now this stuff that I'm using here, practical and will bring more convenience for the locals, these are things that I plan to elaborate right after this intro. So the intros end this stuff where you say things like it's practical, convenient, it has many benefits considering the economy, health, whatever. The next thing is going to be your body one. That's where you will expand those very points. If you say economy here, this should be all about economy and so on. This is me helping you get your marks for flow, because once you finish here, you start with that very point later with elaboration. Okay, and let's get to that right now. This is body one. To begin with, We're not saying something basic like firstly or my first point is. We say to begin with. It's also a connector that is different because it has 3 words. It's a phrase instead of a random connector like and, also, plus. Now, what I'm going to show you here is very important, okay? Listen up. This measure would significantly reduce waiting times and overcrowding. What is this? This is a topic sentence. Just make sure you follow this format. It's the easiest format in writing to follow for Task 2. And once you do this, you get marks left and right for structure and clarity. The topic sentence should show the examiner the main idea that you will elaborate right after. And it's something that I read and then I don't have to even read the rest of it. That's the idea of the topic sentence. It gives the reader the heading. This is how academic articles are written too. CELPIP expects the same level. So here I've mentioned it would reduce waiting times and overcrowding, and now I'm gonna explain this in more detail here. Many commuters are discouraged from using public transportation since buses are either infrequent or excessively crowded during peak hours. Adding more vehicles would completely eliminate this dilemma. There I go. So I mentioned the heading, and later it's basically the process explaining why and how. One mistake that I see time and time again, it's literally in 8 out of 10 writings, is some people doing this, but then going on to the next sentences and saying something completely different. Please don't do that. If you say that, okay, this would improve the economy, mention the economy here. But a lot of times what I see is you say it will improve the economy and then you're talking about health or environmental benefits. Don't do that, okay? Stay consistent to your point and explain that by expanding it further. Once you're done with your point number 1, you go to point number 2 by using a clear connector that shows that you're now switching to point number 2. Furthermore, it's also an advanced connector. With a larger transit network, again, you can see we're always changing up our words. Larger transit network, increased transport methods. And here we said buses are either infrequent, adding more vehicles would be. So don't say the same thing, keep changing the terminologies. Residents living far from major transit routes would have easier access to essential services, consequently, benefiting a much broader population. So here you can see this was a smaller point because you have to conserve words. Once you do points, you see this one became long, my first point, so the next one has to naturally be shorter. And how I did that was by saying consequently, just before a very short conclusion. And it's also really nice because I put a connector now in between the sentence. I put a semicolon to nicely and correctly and academically connect it. Now I'm showing the examiner I can do connectors in the middle, at the start, and I can also do 3-worded connectors at the start. So I am showing the examiner a range of vocab with 2 points nicely organized and explained with academic words. Let's go to body 2. Here you have to contrast with the other side and bash the other side. In contrast, showing the examiner that now I'm switching. Reducing fears would do little to solve the fundamental weakness of the existing system. Once again, what is this? We call this the topic sentence. Do you have an idea of what this whole paragraph is going to be about? Yes, you do. You can read it right there. This sentence gives you the entire topic of what I'm going to say next. So get that started, and now I'm going to expand on this point. An inexpensive service is not particularly useful if commuters have excessively long wait times. Reliability is often more important than saving a few dollars. So this whole thing is about the weakness of the existing system. If you just provide an inexpensive service and you still have to wait long, it is not worth it. This is point number 1 on the other side. Point number 2, likewise. Again, similar to furthermore, we're once again using a connector to show the examiner. This is my point number 2, okay? Sometimes you do the second point, but it's sometimes very similar. And based on human subjective judgment, one person might say it is the second point. One person might say, oh, it's just the first point being continued. You're being repetitive. So by doing this, you're not just doing this for good vocab. You're doing this to show the examiner, please notice I am giving you point number 2. All right, point number 2 is lowering fares could potentially trigger increases in passenger numbers without increasing capacity, resulting in even more congestion and overcrowding. Notice how here we did consequently with a semicolon, and this was a connector in between the sentence leading to my conclusion. Here we're changing it up. We're saying resulting in this. You can also say leading to this, etc. Right? So you always want to not be repetitive and keep changing up the way you explain things. And then I have an even other conclusion, I should say an added conclusion towards the end, just because I have the word limit and it will just sound more complete. And I can always do these kinds of things. I can play around with my sentences at the end when I'm near the end of body 2 or around the conclusion, because here I can add or remove words. This could deteriorate the overall commuting experience rather than enhancing it. Okay, point done. Now let's go to the conclusion, where you simply rephrase the intro. While the two options address both accessibility and service quality, complex sentence starting with while, overall, and this is me giving my opinion again, expanding the number of buses and trains would lead to more pragmatic benefits for the masses, along with improved transport efficiency. So now what I've done is just combined everything that I've said here in these words. So the pragmatic benefits, by the way, it's a rephrasing of practical benefit. And these were the benefits I mentioned in body 1. And then I said it will improve the efficiency, because right now the existing system is inefficient and it's not going to help the commuting experience. That was my point in body 2. How can I sum it up nicely here? I can use these words based on the context of my topic. Sometimes when you're being lazy, you can say stuff like based on the economic benefits, social benefits, health-related benefits. And that is again good because you are summarizing the context that you have mentioned in the body paragraphs. But if you have good English, if you can improve it and do something like this, which has specific words that you have used up here, they're just slightly paraphrased, then it makes up for a really good conclusion that the examiner can see is custom, you made it yourself, and it fits the context. Throughout this writing, you can see I used a lot of lees, potentially, excessively, and all those lees. Wherever you see them, that is done on purpose because I want to get my marks for adverbs. Adverbs are unique. They are also considered advanced, and they give you marks for a range of vocab. That's one. I used a lot of adjectives wherever I was talking about inequalities. Those are adjectives. I was using advanced words, and throughout I was changing up the way I explained things. So if I'm saying furthermore here, then I'm saying likewise here. If I'm saying to begin with, which is 3-worded connectors, I'm saying in contrast later, which is a 2-worded connector. Then again, instead of things like practical, I want to say pragmatic the next time. If I'm saying transport methods, then I'm going to say adding more vehicles, something different, larger transit network, or simply saying buses and trains when I know I have more words. Always keep changing the terminologies. Similarly, when I'm saying my opinion, I'm saying in my view first, then I'm saying overall. Here, if I'm using consequently in the middle of the sentence with a semicolon, I'm using overall here in the middle of a sentence with a comma. Again, showing the examiner that I can use commas, I can use semicolons. And overall, there is a plethora of a range of vocab, academic words, and amazing structure that neatly explains the entire topic. Read it again. Read it 10 times if you need to, because I want you to copy this, and again want you to have reviews like you saw earlier, or a review like this. Mr. Sean, thank you for your guidance I received by purchasing your single course. I could appear the test with confidence. I'm unsubscribing now, but with tons of gratitude. Love that. Get in your CELPIP preparation journey, do the work, and then sail off into the sunset. Get your marks and move on with your life. That's all we're here for, and that's what I hope for all of you. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and check out this course that these students are talking about in the description. Talk to you soon.